Welcome back. This week we're making stuffed pork chops. Philadelphia cream cheese stuffed pork chops. We're using some fennel, some leeks, garlic. We're going to caramelize everything together and mix it with some cream cheese. And then we're going to pipe it inside the pork chop. We're not going to fillet it and just stuff some stuff in there. We're going to pipe it inside. So let me show you what I've got started. In my bowl here, I have 1 leek, 1 bulb of fennel with 3 cloves of garlic, completely caramelized. I've added to that a dash of cayenne pepper and a dash of nutmeg. Get it all mixed together, mix it with the cream cheese. The heat from the vegetables will melt the cream cheese and it gets nice and creamy and gooey. Next, what I've done is I've taken the mixture and I've put it inside of, now if you've seen my last videos, you know I like the little Ziploc bags with the couplers on them. So what I've done is I've taken it and I've filled the bag with my mixture. So I'm ready for that. Next, I take a pork chop, a double thick cut pork chop, and I've marinated it first with the juices of 2 lemons, 2 tablespoons of rosemary, fresh rosemary. Please don't use the dried stuff for this one. This recipe cries for fresh rosemary. I've added to it, pardon me, I've added to it 2 cloves of garlic, crushed garlic, salt and pepper, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And I just let the pork chops marinate on one side for 10 minutes, on the other side for 10 minutes. And that's more than enough. If you have the time, you can marinate overnight and it just makes it just so much more beautiful. But with time constraints, 10 minutes on each side is perfect. Next, we're going to take a knife and we're going to cut a hole into the pork chop. We're going to cut a hole in and we're going to fan it inside the pork chop. If you watched my French toast video, it's the exact same technique that I use for the French toast. I'm going to put a hole in the side, cut on one side, and then on the other side, and then fan it, and then I have a little pocket. Next, with my mixture in the pastry bag, or in the Ziploc bag, I'm going to pipe it inside of the pork chop, just like I did with the French toast. And you can watch it fill up. You can just see it when it's ready. That's ready. That's ready. Now you want to make sure that your fennel is nice and nicely diced so it doesn't clog your coupler when you're piping. I've run into that a number of times. Okay. Move that out the way. And we are about ready. You want to sear your pork chops in a nice hot pan. But before we get there, in order to keep your mixture inside of your pork chop, I use croutons. Normal croutons that we would use for salads. Depending on the size of the hole that you create, you might have to use a couple of them. And trust me, when these are done, you get the cutest, tastiest little sneak snacks. I call them the sneak snacks because they never have to know that they're there. So when the pork chops are done, you can nibble on the croutons that pick up all the flavor from the pork, from the filling. It is just absolutely fabulous. Okay, so we have our croutons in, our fillings in, our croutons in, and our pan should be blazing. That's what I'm talking about right there. Okay, I have a couple others here. We're going to put those in. Now you want to let these cook. First of all, when you put them in and leave them there. Just let them cook. Don't move them around. Yeah, there's a thunderstorm behind me, but we're cooking. We don't care about that. Put them in and leave them there. Don't move them around. You want to get a nice sear on them. And what we're going to do is we're going to let them sear on one side for a good 4 minutes. And then we're going to turn them over and let them sear for another good 4 minutes. Then we're going to pop them in the oven for 20 minutes and let them finish cooking. While this is working, the magic of TV, I'm going to move one pan to the other. I have some pan juices over here that I've been working with. To this, we're going to add 1/4 of a package of the Philadelphia cream cheese. Now this is the pan juices that cook down. When you start your pork chops, once you turn it over, you want to deglaze after the second 4 minutes. You want to deglaze with one and a quarter cup of wine, and then you're going to place it into the oven. When it comes out of the oven, you're going to have all these beautiful pan juices, the wine and the juices from the pork. To that, we're going to add 1/4 of a package of the Philadelphia cream cheese. We're going to allow that to melt into the sauce, and it's going to serve as a thickener for the sauce. So get it stirred in. To this, we're going to add the juice of half a lemon. I like to use a juicer. It just works a whole lot easier for me. We're going to add some fresh rosemary. Just pull it right off of the sprig and drop it in. My dad loves pork chops. He absolutely adores pork chops. And I remember when I was 8 years old, when I started cooking, my dad loved how I fried pork chops. I don't know what it was about the fried pork chop that he loved so much, but he just loved my fried pork chops. And he also loved my rice. And one of the comments that he would always make about my rice was that my rice would always fall apart from each other. It wasn't sticky. I never told him my secret. First, you want to fry 3 strips of bacon. Cut it up in small pieces. Remove it. Save your dripping. And in your drippings, you want to saute your peppers, your onions, and your garlic for your rice. Cook your rice as according to your package directions, but instead of using water, you're going to use chicken stock. When your rice is done, mix your rice with all of your vegetables and garnish with the bacon. It's just absolutely fabulous. You'll love it. I know you will. Okay, my pork chops here, I've turned them. After the 4 minutes, I've turned them. I got a nice sear on one side. They're searing on the other. We're going to deglaze with 1 1/4 cup of sparkling wine. You can use any kind of wine you like. You can use white wine, you can use sparkling, you can Chablis, Sauvignon Blanc, whatever you like. You can use that. If you don't want to use wine, you can use chicken stock. You can use water, whatever you like. I prefer the wine because it gives the sauce a great flavor. So 1 1/4 cups. And then we're going to pop it in the oven and let it finish up for about another 15 to 20 minutes. You can check that as it goes along. Now, in the power of TV, I have the finished product here. I'm going to garnish with a little bit of lemon. And I have my sauce. And the sauce is the pan drippings with some lemon juice, some rosemary, some cream cheese, and I'm just pouring it over the pork chop. I've already stolen all of the little sneak snacks, so all the little croutons that were in the side. I've already taken those. This is a fabulous dish that you and your family will love, absolutely adore. The rice is hearty, the pork chops, because of using the lemon juice and the marinade, the acid from the lemon kind of cooks the pork chop, which allows it to cook faster once we get it on the heat. You'll love it. You'll just adore it. I adore it. Catch me next time. I think next time we're making chicken.